So today in our assignment, we're going to actually add the pottery piece to our design that we've already created. Don't worry, you don't have to try to figure out how to draw it on your own. You're actually going to trace something. So go ahead and hit the home button to close your screen. And we're going to go to Google Classroom. So you want to go to My Classroom, and on today's date here, what you're going to do is you're going to tap there, and you're going to see a list of different pictures. And so you can simply just tap it, and it'll show you what examples are there, and you can pick whichever picture. So I'm going to go with this picture. Now I need to get this picture into my photo area. So it's simple, real simple. There is a button on the top here, and a button, the top button on the side here, and I'm going to press them at the same time. So that takes a picture, because you'll hear the picture sound, and it'll appear right here. So if you don't see your little picture down here, then it didn't work. So you're probably going, okay, where do I find it? So if I go to my photos and I look at the bottom, it's right there. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So now what I want you to do is to go into your Procreate project, go into your stack, okay? And then we're going to create a new layer. So I'm going to tap the layer and create a new one. Then I'm going to go to the wrench, okay? And there's a plus sign. I'm going to tap there. And then I'm going to insert a photo, okay? So insert a photo. I'm going to choose the photo I want, okay? So now it's on that layer. Make sure that the little arrow is chosen there. But we need to make this kind of invisible so we can see where we're going to put it on our picture. So you go to the letter N right there, tap that, and the opacity line, we're going to make it invisible. Okay, so that we can still see the picture of the pottery, but we can also see the background. So making sure that this arrow is chosen, I'm going to take my fingers and squeeze, and I'm going to put the pottery piece where I want it to be on my picture and how big I want it. So I can adjust that like this. So I want this pot right here. So I'm going to make it as big as I want it to be, because it's actually in the very front foreground of my picture. Okay, stop right there. The next thing you're going to do is add another layer. So I'm going to add a layer, and this is going to be my drawing layer that I'm going to draw on. Okay, so I'm going to pick my pencil or my brush. I'm going to go to calligraphy, and I'm going to choose monoline. I'm also going to change my brush size over here. I don't want it too thick, but I'm going to say right about there is good. And now I'm going to make sure that I have black by double tapping into black to make sure I have black. And now I'm going to draw. Okay, so I'm going to turn it sideways a little bit for me so it's easier to draw. And I'm going to put my hand down, and I'm going to start tracing the actual picture. I don't like that, so I'm going to twist it so it's easier for me to draw. I'm going to turn it around, and then squeeze and twist it around again, and then do this little dip right here. Now I don't want all the designs, I just want some of the designs. So I'm going to keep the curved line. And if yours doesn't have a design on it, you feel free to put whatever design you want on your pottery piece. Once you are finished drawing your design, you no longer need that picture of the pottery. So you're going to go up to the layers, and here it is right here. You can either delete it but I would leave it just in case you need it for something. But you can uncheck the box right here. So we're going to uncheck the box. So now I have this layer here. I notice that I have some places here that I need to erase. So I'm going to go up to my eraser, make it big here, just kind of clean it up a little bit. Oops, undo. Just kind of cleaned it up. Okay. All right, now we need to add color. Now this is going to be the same as the fill-in project that we did. We're going to need a new layer for every color. Okay, so I'm going to turn on reference on this layer. This is my drawing layer. I'm going to turn on reference. Then I'm going to add a layer. And now I'm going to choose a color that I want my pottery piece to be. See, kind of a reddish turquoise color is what I'd like. And I'm going to color drop just the areas that I want to have that turquoise. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the layers and add another layer. I'm going to change the color because I want more like a yellow orange. You can choose whatever colors you want. Okay, I'm going to add another layer and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the inside of the pot. Okay, and I'm going to keep adding a layer for every color, new color that I want. So my last color that I'm going to do is going to be kind of a bluish color. I think I want more of a light color there. Oops, undo. I went over a color. Okay, so now my pot is complete. But just like I added shading on the cactus, I'm going to add shading on this side of my pot over here. So I'm going to do that on each color. So I go to the layers and I'm going to turn alpha lock on all of the layers except for all of my color layers except for the black. I'm not worried about adding a shadow in there because it's already black. So remember, alpha lock is swiping to the right with 2 fingers, or you can tap it and click on alpha lock. So you know it's on when there's a checkerboard behind your picture here or the check mark is on. All right, so I'm going to start with my terracotta color there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually hold my finger down on the color. That puts me in the color area that it should be in. And then I'm going to go down a little bit with the little ball to make kind of a shadowy color. My brush that I'm going to be using for this is we're going to go back to the noise brush. So we're going to go to touch ups, make sure we're on noise. And then you want to adjust it to about 20%. And then on all of my orange here, I'm pressing down and kind of swirling my pencil around to get that dark color. And I'm only doing it on one side of the pottery. Okay. I'm going to come back to my layers, keeping my brush the same. Now I'm going to go to the layer with the yellowish color. So I'm going to touch that. Come up to the circle, make it a little darker. I'm using the same brush. And I'm making the shadow come out to match the shadow here. So it should all come out like this comes out to here, this should come out. Okay, that's looking good. And now I'm going to go to my last color, and that is going to be the blue up here. I'm going to hold my finger down and choose that color and go a little darker. I'm still on the noise brush under touch-ups. Okay, so I'm going to come here and Draw in my shadow here, making sure to match up with that line there, because we want the shadow to look the same all the way down. Great. Now, look at that. We've got a shadow there. Now, if you want to change the size of your pottery piece, what you will have to do is you will have to combine all of the pottery pieces together or put them in a group. So if I have this and I tap here, see how I'm swiping my fingers? Okay. That's putting everything together without smushing the layers together. Still keeping the layers separate, but putting everything in a group. Then I can touch the arrow here and it's going to select it. I can move it around. Maybe I want it over here. Maybe I want it tilted down. Maybe I want it kind of slanted a little bit. And I can also resize it. And I want to keep it about, I think I want it big. About right there. Now, once you have it, everything set the way you want it to go, and that it looks good to you, now it's time to save it as a JPEG to turn it in. Now, if you're not finished today, you're going to save it as a Procreate to your Google Drive like we've done every day. But if you are finished, you're going to hit the wrench, go to Share, choose the JPEG, JPEG. You're going to save it to your Google Drive. Make sure your name is chosen here. Select the folder, My Drive, Artwork, save here, and upload. Okay, so when you're ready to turn it in, you're going to go to the Google Classroom and you're going to turn it in by attaching it to the assignment. The assignment will be on Thursday, so when you're ready to turn it in on Thursday, that's what we'll do.